students, in the previous class you have taught about who is an assessee, what is previous year, what is income, what is assessment year, what is gross total income, etc. I hope that you are familiar with all those terms. Now we are going to deal about the second head of gross total income. Since you are familiar with the term gross total income, it consists of 5 heads of income. The first one, income from salary, income from house property, the next one, income from business, and the fourth one, income from capital gain, and the fifth one, income from other sources. Now we are going to discuss about income from house property. That is the second head of the gross total income. Section 22 of the Act defines the basis of charge. That is, according to this section, the income is taxable under the head income from house property if it is satisfying the following 3 conditions. That is, the assessee has to satisfy the following conditions if he wants to claim, if he wants to show this income under the head income from house property. The first condition, the property should consist of any buildings or land appertaining thereto. Land appertaining thereto means that is land pertaining to this building, land belonging to this building. Suppose the land is taken somewhere, means the income from that vacant plot, vacant land is charged under the head income from other source, that is under the 5th head. But the condition says, section 22 says the basis for the charge, the property should consist of any building or land appertaining thereto, that is land pertaining, belonging to this building. The second one, the property should be owned by the assessee. That means the assessee must be the owner of this property. And the third one, the property, this property should not be used for his own business or profession. If it is used for his own business or profession, that will be charged under the head income from profession. So it should not. That's why section 22 says, I repeat that point, the property should consist of any building or land appertaining thereto, the first condition. The second condition, the property should be owned by the assessee. And the third condition, the property, this property should not be used for his own business or profession. So, and then now we are going to see about how to compute the income from house property. Now you can see the specimen of computation of income from house property. So according to that, gross annual value less municipal tax. So the result is net annual value. From the net annual value, we are going to deduction under section, less deduction under section 24. What is section 24? The first one, standard deduction, that is 30% of the net annual value. Then the second deduction under section 24, interest on borrowed capital. So these two will be deducted, and that way we are getting the income from house property. Now let us see how to calculate the gross annual value. The gross annual value will be determined with the help of 5 steps. So let us see the 5 steps involved in determining the gross annual value. The first step, find out the reasonable expected rent of the property. Find out the reasonable expected rent of the property. That is the first step. We'll see, after discussing the 5 steps, you are going to determine what is reasonable expected rent. That way the first one is determining the reasonable expected rent of the property. And the second step, find out the rent actually received or receivable after excluding the unrealized rent but before deducting the loss due to vacancy. So what is the second step? Rent actually received or receivable after excluding unrealized rent but before deducting loss due to vacancy. That will be determined. Now step 1 we have determined and step 2 we have determined. Now step 1 or step 2, whichever is higher, that will be the step 3, whichever is higher. Then Step 4, from this step 3, we are deducting the loss due to vacancy. Find out the loss due to vacancy. That loss will be deducted from step 3. So gross annual value is step 3 minus step 4. Now we are going to see about compute that reasonable expected rent. What is reasonable expected rent? Because while calculating, while computing the gross annual value, first of all we have to determine the reasonable expected rent. So now we are going to see how to determine how to compute the reasonable expected rent. For that, the first one, that is A, municipal valuation. In short, we will say as MV. MV is nothing but municipal valuation. The second one, fair rent. In short, we will say FR. FR is fair rent. And the third one, standard rent. That is SR. SR is nothing but standard rent. Now, the reasonable expected rent, as I said, A, municipal valuation, B, fair rent, C, standard rent. And reasonable expected rent is A or B, whichever is high, subject to a maximum of C. That is municipal valuation or fair rent, whichever is high, but which is subject to the maximum of standard rent. So that will be the reasonably expected rent. And then we have determined, we have computed the first step, reasonably expected rent. Then second step, rent actually received. So that is actual rent of the previous year will be decided, and from that the unrealized rent will be deducted, so that will determine the rent actually received or receivable. So that is after excluding unrealized rent, but before deducting loss due to vacancy. Now we have computed step 1, step 2. Now the third step is step 1 or step 2, whichever is high. Now from this, the loss due to vacancy will be deducted, so that we will get the gross annual value. Shall we do a sum now, so that we can understand what is gross annual value and what is net annual value. See the sum now. So shall we read the sum now? That is, determine the annual value of the house in the following cases. There are two houses, A and B. Municipal value of those houses 1 lakh each. Then fair rent 1,20,000, 1,20,000. Standard rent 90,000, 1,40,000. Actual rent received 1,32,000, 96,000. Municipal tax 10% of municipal value paid by the owner, paid by the tenant. Now the question is, determine the annual value of the house. So we are going to compute the annual value of the house. So while calculating the annual value, the first step, determine the reasonable expected rent of the house. Expected reasonable rent of the house is municipal value or fair rent, whichever is high, subject to a maximum of standard rent. So expected rent A, municipal value for house A, it is 1 lakh, for house B it is 1 lakh. Then B, fair rent. Fair rent is 1,20,000 and 1,20,000. C, standard rent. Standard rent is 90,000, 1,40,000. Now, expected rent is municipal value or fair rent, whichever is high, but subject to a maximum of standard rent. A or B, whichever is high, but subject to a maximum of C. So, see, maximum is for house A 1,20,000, the higher amount 1,20,000, but it is subject to a maximum of C, standard rent, and that way the expected rent will be expected rent will be for house A, it is 90,000. I hope you have understood. That is A is 1 lakh as per the provision A or B, whichever is high, subject to a maximum of C. So the higher amount is 1,20,000, but it is subject to, that is the maximum would be 90,000. So for house A it is 90,000. Then come to house B. Here also that is the higher amount is fair rent. Fair rent, but subject to a maximum of standard rent is 1,40,000. Whichever is high, but subject to a maximum of 1,40,000. It cannot. And that way the higher amount is 1,20,000. That is municipal valuation or fair rent, whichever is high, but subject to a maximum of standard rent. And that way for house A, 1 lakh or 1,20,000, the higher amount is 1,30,000. But there is a restriction, it should not go beyond that 90,000, and that way it is 90,000. For house B, that is it can go up to for 1,40,000, but the higher amount is 1,20,000, and that way the expected rent for house B is 1,20,000. Then, so this is step 1. Then step 2. Rent actually received. Rent actually received 1,32,000 for house A and 96,000 for house B. Now step 3. What is step 3? Step 1 or step 2, whichever is higher. Step 1 or step 2, whichever is higher. And due to that, now see, that is for house A, rent actually received is higher than expected rent. And that way, that is for house A, it is 1,32,000. House B, it is 1,20,000. Now step 4, less loss due to vacancy. So there is no vacancy, so it is nil. And that way the gross annual value will be 1,32,000 and 1,20,000. So now we have determined, we have computed the gross annual value. Now from this, the question is annual value of the house. So we have to deduct less municipal tax. Municipal tax is given 10% of municipal value of that property. So at the rate of 10%, for the first house, the municipal value is 1 lakh. If you calculate 10% on that 1 lakh, it comes 10,000. And for the second house also, it comes 10,000. So do you remember the specimen of the annual value of the property? Gross annual value less municipal tax. So from the gross annual value, if you deduct the municipal tax, you will get the net annual value. Net annual value. So that for house A, it is 1,22,000, and for house B, it is 1,10,000. Now look at that. When gross annual value, as per the steps you are calculating, but municipal tax. Now we have calculated the gross annual value. For house A it is 1,32,000. For house B 1,20,000. So to determine the net annual value from the gross annual value, we have to deduct the municipal tax. Municipal tax is given 10% of the municipal value. So according to that, house A is, that is 10,000, Now, when can you make the deduction for municipal tax? There are two conditions to be satisfied. The first one, the tax should be paid by the owner. And the second condition, the tax should have been paid in the previous year. So, comparing these two, in the house A, the tax is paid by the owner. So, it has satisfied. And in both the cases, the tax were paid during the previous year. But see, in the first case, it was paid by the owner, and in the second case, it was paid by the tenant. But according to the provision, it should have been paid by the owner, it should have been paid during the previous year. The first was, house A has satisfied both the condition, but house B, the tax is paid by the tenant. So that it is not allowed for deduction. Though tax is paid, since it is paid by the tenant, it is not allowed for deduction. So that municipal tax for house B will be nil. So the net annual value for house A 1,22,000 and for house B 1,20,000. Here we have made deduction for municipal tax only for house A and not for house B. The reasons, the tax should have been paid by the owner. First case it is paid by the owner, second case it is paid by the tenant, so it is not allowed for deduction. Next we will see the another sum. Okay, so far we have computed the annual value of the property. Now we are going to do the full sum. How to compute the income from house property. Read the problem. The particulars of residential house given below for the assessment year 2015-16. Municipal value 44,000, fair rent 48,000, standard rent 36,000, actual rent 37,200, municipal tax paid 8,800, ground rent payable 60,000, interest on money borrowed for construction 5,000, collection charges actually paid 300. The assessee mortgaged the property for rupees 36,000, which was spent on his daughter's marriage. The assessee paid interest of rupees 3,000 on the mortgaged loan this year. Compute the income from house property. So, what is the question? Compute the income from house property. So, we are going to calculate the income from house property. Computation of income from let out house property for the assessment year 2015 to 16. So first one, gross annual value. Now we have to determine the gross annual value. Gross annual value is reasonable expected rent, first step. So what is the expected rent? Municipal value or fair rent, whichever is high but subject to a maximum of standard rent. So here the municipal valuation is 44,000, fair rent is 48,000. Now whichever is high, that is MV or FR, whichever is high, the highest one is fair rent, 48,000. But subject to a maximum of standard rent, standard rent is 36,000. So that the reasonable expected rent, 36,000. 36,000. So we have determined the first step. The second step, rent actually received. Here it is given, so we need not calculate, and that is the second step, actual rent. That is 37,200. Then according to step 3, that is step 1 or step 2, whichever is higher. Whichever is high. That will be the no loss due to vacancy, and that is step 1 or step 2, whichever is high, so that the gross annual value will be rupees 37,200 gross annual value. Now less municipal tax. As I said, it should have been paid by the owner, it should have been paid during the previous year, so that the conditions are satisfied, so it is eligible for deduction. So net annual value 28,400. Now, do you remember the specimen? That is from the net annual value, we have to deduct section 24. So, less deduction under section 24. So, as per section 24, the first one, standard deduction. Standard deduction, that is at the rate of 30% of net annual value. So 30% of net annual value so it is 8,000, write it in the inner column, 8,520, 30% of net annual value. Then that is here now interest on money borrowed for construction. There are two types of loan. There are two types of loan. One for construction, another one by mortgaging this property, he has borrowed loan to the extent of 36,000. But section 24 says that is interest on loan borrowed for construction or for reconstruction for renewal, that only is allowed. For any other purpose, it is not allowed under section 24. So, though there are two loans, one is for construction, another one is for marriage, that is no provision for loan for marriage. So, we are just ignoring. And that way only the interest on borrowed capital, not amount is a problem. The interest on money borrowed for construction is 5,000. Only this is allowed. We are paying another interest, but that is for by mortgaging the property, we are borrowing the loan for marriage. So that is not allowed. So only loan borrowed for the construction of, because we are calculating the income from house property, that's why only expenses relevant to this is allowed, and that as per section 24 only we can make the deduction. So it is coming 13,520. And that way the 14,880, that is the income from house property. As I already said, income from house property can be calculated from let out house property and from self-occupied house. So far we have discussed about that is income from let out house property. Now we are just going to see the specimen of income from self-occupied property. See, for self-occupied property, the assessee, he himself occupies the house. That is, there is no income for him, there is no rent. So, and that way, the gross annual value will be nil. Since there is no income, no tax is to be paid. So that the municipal tax will also be nil. So, gross annual value nil, municipal tax nil, automatically the net annual value will be nil. Then the deduction under section 24, so there is no net annual value, so that will also be nil. But we have borrowed the loan from any financial institutions to construct the house, the interest on that loan is allowed for deduction. So there is no income, only expense is there automatically. The result will be loss from house property. The answer will be negative. So that the income from loss of property will be in minor, negative figure. So here I want to say one thing, interest on borrowed capital, there is a maximum ceiling. But for let out house property, there is no maximum ceiling. Whatever the interest paid, that will be allowed for deduction. But in the case of self-occupied property, there is a restriction. There is a ceiling. Maximum ceiling is fixed. If the loan is borrowed on or after 1/4/1999, then the maximum ceiling will be 2 lakhs. That is, you can make a deductions up to 2 lakh, provided the loan should have been borrowed, that is on or after 1/4/99, and it should have been borrowed for either for construction or for acquisition, then only you can make a deductions up to 2 lakh. If it is used for reconstruction or modifications or renewals, or if it is borrowed before 1499, then you cannot make a deductions of 2 lakhs, but you can make a deduction of only 30,000. So that is the restriction. So if these two conditions are satisfied only, you can make a deduction of 2 lakh. Thank you.